Welcome to yet another educative and informative episode at Business Reality with Adeni Ishuremi. My goal is to help you achieve success in agribusiness and to ensure that you get stability and value for every second you spend listening to any of my episode. Do not forget to follow me on Spotify and YouTube to get more episodes or follow my website adenishuremi.com.ng to get access to my newsletters. I'm hoping that at the end of this episode, you're going to be getting value for every second you spent here. I'm grateful for your support and I expect more support. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoying the episode. Good day. I trust you're doing good. So, we've been speaking about how not to venture into agribusiness without the knowledge of certain important secrets. So, we've talked about two major secrets that categorical secrets that you need to know. First, then we started with the farming secret. Then we moved into input provision secrets. Now, these are two categories that I have discussed elaborate reasons why you need to know what you need to know in those categories to succeed at what you do within the agricultural sector, particularly as it pertains to you if you play within the farming space or input provision space. Now, in this episode, we're going to be looking at Agritech secrets, right? So, Agritech is a very, very popular word that been used by so many legitimate and illegitimate businesses in Nigeria. There's a part and challenge that you get when a business has challenges, but then is able to solve the problem. And there's a point where you don't even plan to operate, you just want to defraud people. So in the past year, Agritech had been that umbrella where a lot of fraudulent activity within the agricultural sector had been able to hide its ugly head in. Right. While I won't say, of course, everyone came in with a bad intention, maybe we started off the Agritech space with an intention to do better, but then challenges come in and then they lose track of how to manage it. So now, looking to Agritech itself, what is the whole concept of Agritech? Agritech is a mashup of two different words, agriculture and technology. So it was merged together to become Agritech, a short form of some sort. The goal is at the end that you're going to be able to deliver efficient agricultural business practices using technology as a much needed aid to expedite the success of an agricultural business. And that's how Agritech as a word was coined up. So you see when people say they do Agritech today, and the reason is because at some point in the agricultural journey, they implement the usage of technology to enhance productivity. And that's how the Agritech in itself entirety works. So let's say for example, you've got a farming project you do where you plant cassava and then you harvest it. The moment you start diversifying your approach on that farm to include things like automatic harvesting, processing facilities, and then you're of course able to put certain novel solutions like AI-oriented services or machine learning, then of course at that point you're already going into agri-tech. You're no more just a farmer anymore, but you're a farmer that uses the aid of multiple technology to improve business outcome. And that's typically agri-tech in itself. So there are a lot of people that are into agri-tech but don't even know they are into agri-tech as at the time that they were wondering about it. So if you're using tech to expedite and improve the productivity and efficiency of agricultural business, then you're into agri-tech. And that's very important that is kept with you, and the knowledge is something that you get to understand a lot about. So what makes a business agri-tech? As I said, it's largely the case of technology infusion into general business model, general business activities, like the business of farming and the business of input provisions. They are both normal agricultural value chain businesses. But then the moment you're using technology to arrange, sort, calculate and pull your inventory together and ensure that your stock rate is very, very sharp, speedy and quick, then of course you're now an agri-tech within the input provision space. And these are how agri-techs are being formed. There are many more agri-tech that are not conventional and there are many that are conventional. So with that stated, so how do you convert your agribusiness into agritech? Now that's a very, very good question that I want to push. A lot of people might be listening to this first podcast and wondering, how do I convert my current agricultural business into agritech? Well, it is simple as I said earlier. You have to look at what in your business are you doing right now that you think technology can enhance, expedite, and make efficient, right? And that's very, very important because if you can see something that they could help you do better than you're doing it, then you're already on the path with agritech, right? You can start labeling your company an agritech. And that's very, very important. So outside that as well, what can you do to convert, well, now can you get business, agribusiness to agritech? And that is a part there is that most of the business is there. Even if you don't have an idea of how you can convert them, all you need to do is bring a third eye to the place. And look, okay, I want to play in the agri-tech space, but then this is at my current capacity. Of course, the consultants or someone that is used to agri-tech will be able to look into your project and tell, okay, this is where we think is wise for you to expand technological wise, and you'll see the best results. And that's how it is. So, of course, agribusiness can become agri-tech businesses, and there's nothing stopping or wrong about that in any way possible. Now, the agri-tech of the thing, right? So there are two major, there are many, all I call it, major category of technology that is out there today. However, for the sake of what we're trying to discuss, I'm going to limit my scope to two major knowledge base for technology advancement. Of course, there's the software side of things, there's equally the platform side of things. There are other parts, but I'm focusing on these two only, the platform side and the software side. So in the software side, you see services like ERP offering, you see a CRM offering, you could even see an integration of both. Then as well, you'll be able to see that there's SaaS, subscription as a service, or software as a service, right? Where you offer software to other companies, let them be their software platform, and then you charge them based on what you've done and how often they use the software that we made available. That's another thing that is common in the software space. And then lastly, of course, you want to look at satellite imagery and, of course, every related technology within that space. These are agri-tech that relies heavily on the software that is being used to produce this. So, of course, it is expected that certain things need to fall in line before you're able to maximize this sort of opportunity. But in the meantime, the second part after software, or second category majorly is after software, then it is now platform. Platform, of course, things like social media and those are majorly platforms where they facilitate certain certain kind of businesses, certain kind of interactions and opportunities, right? That is what platform does. So there are some fintech projects that are culturally inclined where there's a transfer of money from the hands of one party to another. And there are also sales and marketing oriented platforms that transact e-commerce, for example, the Farm Square and the rest of them. They've got a platform built that allows the transaction of raw material within the next person. So that's under platform. Of course, there's a marketing. Then there's equally the service offering. You could build a platform within the agriculture sector, Agritech space that would attend to different services like training, webinars. You could also cater for other simple things that could help business work. Now, these are ways that you can name the categories that are involved in agritech majorly. For people to tell you that there are other categories, that it's not entirely wrong. It's just that for the sake of the conversation and this particular series, we are limiting our scope to the two categories, software and platform. Right? It's very, very important. So how do you now get to build all of these things, right? You can't, Rome is not built in a day, but you want to start as early as possible. You want to start with looking at defining clearly what you want to do, how you want to go about it, what you want to achieve, right? You want to get into it clearly. Then you want to hire, right? You want to hire the right team. Once you know what you want to do, then the right team is the next thing. Once the team is right and you get the right people together, they'll make your dream come true very fast. And of course, there are other secrets that I feel would expatiate how you're able to do this business to be in a system that allows you grow innovatively. That's what Agritech does for you. Put you in a place where you could grow sustainably. So what are secrets that you need to know before venturing into Agritech as a business? Now I'm going to take them one after the other. I have got a few things jotted down to discuss on that. Well, it's heavily dependent on skilled workers, like it's skilled workers oriented. So if you don't have any form of coding skills or software skills, you're going to struggle a little bit, right? That doesn't mean that if you have zero of the skill, you still can thrive. You just have to employ people that have got the skills or hire them as volunteers. You just need to bring those out skills into the flock and they'll be able to take care of most of those things that you're looking at, right? As if you don't know a lot about tech, I don't know a lot of tech, that is an approach you go. Now, typically, it is heavily skill required. Even if you don't know how codes are being written, you need to learn so much so that some nuances and some registers will stick to your mind and you're able to deliver a leadership role to whoever it is that is working with you as much as possible. Yes, so it is heavily skill required. Sometimes you may need to go and hire people that understand how coding works. And truth is, if you want those that they can be hacked, you're looking at quite a lot of money. And oftentimes, most of them are being paid in dollar or dollar equivalents. And this is the concept that is there. So it is heavily skilled in client as much as possible. That's something that must be known as part of the secret for Agritech. Another secret that is quite important is that it requires deep understanding of the various tech opportunities and languages that are prevalent. Now, wherever you're bringing in to serve as the tech side of things, you need to understand how the terrain is working and how to leverage it for the best outcome, right? There has to be that understanding, thorough understanding of the various languages available and ease of doing them that is present as much as possible. That's another secret. The third secret is funding dependent. Now you see, agritech is part of agriculture that requires quite an elaborate funding mechanism because most of the businesses would not mature until 4, 5, 6 years from now. And these are things that the agritech companies putting in place to ensure that it's able to remain sustainable for many years to come, right? But then it's very, very important that funding as a key resource has to be provided because you don't know when that idea you're bringing about would hit the jackpot and ensure that everything's sustainable. So in the meantime, of course, funding is something that is very, very key. And that's a lot of founders or a lot of leaders of agritech take a lot of time to build that network because at the end of the day, your network can be your network. It depends on how it is being perceived, right? So the whole agritech space is heavily funding intensive. Now we have another secrets that is clear, right? And I'm going to be saying it because you don't want to make certain mistake as much as possible. It has a pathway in case billionaire status is something that interests you. You like the concept of being a billionaire. Well, the training agritech service part of the knowledge, it can make that happen, right? All you just need to put together is that you want to make sure that you don't joke with your visions and your goal. But Agritech has a pathway to billionaire status. It just requires what can be done to achieve such level of results, right? And that secret that is always there is that, of course, with Agritech, there could easily be cross-border payments where the payment is being made in another country and services come from another country. Like, for example, a product will be launched in Nigeria and be used across the whole of Africa, right? Everything allows such kind of innovations that pushes people, that pushes companies, that pushes, how will I call it, that pushes business to grow exponentially. So there's that cool-off period, like cross-border opportunity, where people are able to interact with others and then get value back as much as possible. So these are part of the perks of Agritech. Agritech breaks the barrier of many of the things and even more as much as possible. So in this particular episode, I'm able to help you understand that Agritech, as beautiful as it is, require a lot of skills, require a lot of capital, and then of course you want to make sure that you don't undermine capacity of people working in this place to achieve their job. Of course, most tech are being built under an umbrella, and that umbrella right now is something that you already have. Depending on what you plan to achieve before you bring in the use of all the secrets that have been communicated over time. Yes, and so with that, of course, that is where I'm going to be closing the window upon the Agritech secrets. I've written to you the things you need to know about that particular space side. They could, of course, they are great news, while some are disturbing news. But irrespective, the truth there is the secret are things that you must know if you are to succeed, if you are to thrive, if you are to go above and good. These are things that are important that you must know. Agritech, just like any other business in the agriculture sector, requires a very careful deliberation plan to achieve substantial results. Now, with that stated, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. See you another time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We hope, particularly high, that you've been able to get something concrete from this episode. Do not just listen to my episode, but take value with it. And once you take value, you're certain to succeed. The difference between you and the person that doesn't take steps is that you take steps and you're guaranteed of a result, and that result becomes a success. And I will be here to listen to all you have to say as regarding the steps you've taken and the result you've gotten. Follow me across social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and every other part, or better still, search my name on Google and you'll get so many access to my content. And also ensure that you follow my podcast for more informative sessions. Thanks so much for your time. I can't wait to have you again. Have a wonderful day.